Hi everybody, it's Hey John. Welcome to my channel where I jabber about opportunities non-stop. Of course, about Dogecoin. Specifically, I cover Dogecoin news and Dogecoin technical analysis. And in today's video, I'm going to cover the technical analysis for Dogecoin. Today's April 12th, 2021. You came for the 6th. Let's get to it. Now, before we get to all this, do me a huge favor and subscribe, like, and share my videos out so we can grow the Dogecoin community together. So again, it's April 12th, 2021 today, and currently the current Doge price as of this recording is 708, which is fantastic because we are above the psychological support of 7 cents. That support is very important. If we break below that, we will probably hit this ascending triangle I drew here, but I will get to that as well. But let's go over some of the current technicals right now. So, as of right now, the 50 MA is above the 200 MA, which means that we are in a bullish cycle and we're continuing it still. A few days ago, the 50 MA started turning down, but now it's turning back up again. It went from a downward position to a flat position to now an up position now. And that's fantastic because when it's pointing up, that means longer term, it's going to have a longer term signal to continue the bull market. Remember, the 50-day moving average, uses 50 days and average those prices out there, so it's hard to manipulate. And a 200-day moving average is even stronger because of the same reason. It uses 200 days to average out and to give you the current price of it. So with that being said the current 50 MA is about 562. The current 200 MA is 236. So currently it's very bullish and very powerful, and we're seeing a little bit divergence between the 50 and 200, which is also really good as well. Generally speaking, when you see divergence, that usually leads to a higher shift in price action. So what that means is you're going to see essentially bigger candlesticks with wilder swings up and down, which is great for day traders and long-term investors. The reason why it's good for day traders because when you see a long, really big candlestick, that means there's room to make profits in the day. So day traders will flock into the trade, and they're also kind of known as momentum traders as well, where they kind of come in and start buying it up and selling it up, right? Where you have the bears and bulls doing their thing and making their money here. And it's great for people like you and I who are investors because we get dip buying opportunities. Without these day traders, we may not have them because the market will be very choppy due to the low volume here. So as much as people hate on bears and day traders, they're actually quite essential for the liquidity of the markets. And in this case, cryptocurrency Dogecoin. So I will go to volume now. So you can see right here on April 10th, right? We had 503.549 million volume. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I like to call a buy signal, right? When you have that much volume, it's a buy signal. Of course, on a flip side, if you have a big sell like this, on a flip side, then you know what? It's a sell signal, which means you should probably get a trade in the short term and the long term because usually when someone dumps or many folks dump like that, it's probably due to a fundamental change in the fundamentals. So with that being said, when that happens, there may or may not be news articles coming out at the time of it happening. The same reason, like when you see the stock market, where you see Warren Buffett, buying up all these stocks right here, right? But of course, he's only regulated to only disclose it every quarter. So at the present time when you're seeing whatever stock you're watching and it's going up and you're like, why is it going up? I see no news whatsoever, and why is there unusual buying or unusual selling? Well, same thing. So same thing applies here where someone's just buying it, right? And then once they're finished buying, guess what? You're gonna start seeing articles released about it. So usually, whatever kind of tricks you see being played in the stock markets, they also apply to the cryptocurrency market because these same people are running both markets here. So there is no differentiation for the most part. So no differentiation in terms of the marketing trick. So as long as you're aware of that, you should be fine. That being said, today's the following day. It's a Monday now because that was a Sunday. So we're seeing about 175 million volume today, and it's kind of selling off, but it shows that. But it isn't. But this isn't necessarily where everyone's selling off for here, right? Because obviously there's a buyer and seller on both sides here. So that being said, currently it is looking red because we are seeing a red candlestick. So that means that we're opening at a higher price, say like 754, and the current price is coming down to a 70. So that just means we're opening up higher and we're selling lower. So that's kind of why you're seeing the body kind of flip as well. However, on the MACD on a daily, it's looking quite bullish, right? We've had to see 1, 2, 3, 4. I usually like to say we want to see 5 to 6 sticks to confirm a movement here. So again, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4 sticks currently, and we're still in what I like to call the bullish territory on the MACD, which is great. The only thing to note here is that, as you can see, for the current MACD here, for a 12-day moving average and 26-day moving average, you saw a fairly large divergence on these 2 days right here on the 10th and 11th here. However, you're seeing it now kind of slow down in terms of the divergence for today. So the 12-day moving average is starting to change its velocity. Trajectory is still going up, it's still bullish, but the velocity went from this to this. So basically what that means is it's slowing down. So when it's slowing down, guess what? There isn't as much volatility anymore. So basically, when we see the 20-day moving average kind of changes of velocity, and eventually kind of go here and go here, you follow my hands right here, it becomes flat. That's a different trajectory because now it's going flat here, right? And then from that point on, it can either go up or down from there. So this is something to watch here, and to be not concerned with yet, but something to watch and take note of. Because if it goes flat and turns down, then guess what? That means the momentum has stopped, and we're kind of self-correcting now. Currently, the price today is, yes, I would say it's self-correcting, right? Because we were at what, let me see, about 8 cents or something on let me see, 799 right here, right, on the highest peak from the previous day here, and now we're about 701. So let's see how down are we? Let's see. Let's do a quick wait, make them bigger. Here we go. So we are down about I would say 13% or 12% here. Let's see this. Here we go. We are down about 13% from the current highs of yesterday. I mean, but at the same token, we also had a movement of about 26%. So we pretty much lost half our gains from yesterday. However, even today, you're still going to be up 13%, or 14% in this case here. So as of this recording, so that isn't necessarily a bad thing because pullbacks are normal and natural. That's just how it is. When you have a new pop, it's going to pull back a little bit, right? So with that being said there, I'm going to go into the 4-hour chart and see how that looks from a more microscopic view, because right here on the daily chart, it's kind of a more, bird's eye view here. So you want to check it out and see how it looks currently. So 4-hour chart. All right, on the 4-hour chart here, it looks a lot more bullish to me here, and I'll explain to you why right now. So what you see right here is imagine this is like your giant, what I'm drawing here, this gray square here. Imagine this is your giant green candlestick, which it is right here, right? And to me, this looks like a flag. So imagine this kind of be like your bull flag for the most part. So you kind of train this range here. Okay, so a bull flag isn't necessarily bad. And also, one more thing to note is that if you look at it at a short term here, you're kind of seeing angle down. So I'm gonna delete these old temporary 1-minute chart I did yesterday for the live stream, just to kind of give a better image of this right here. So let's see. So what we're seeing here is kind of a current downtrend. Let me give this to 1 second. One more. There you go. There you go. So we're seeing a current downtrend up here, right? But if you look at it in terms of the long-term support, about 70, the psychological support / resistance, depending on what side you're at, as of this recording, it's a support here. And if I draw this downward trend here, it looks to me like a bullish flag and a descending triangle being drawn in the same token here. So usually with descending triangles, they're bullish because they're kind of resetting, right? They're going to go down and then they'll pop back up. And the reason why I say it's bullish is because, well, usually it's bullish, and in this case, I would say it may or may not be. It's kind of hard to say right now as of this recording, but I'll explain to you why as well. Okay, so looking at the current 4-hour chart as well, for the 50 MA, it's at 632, and the 200 is about 580. So that means that the 50 MA is above the 200 MA. So we're confirming that it's currently in the bullish cycle and has a bullish cross, which is what you want to see, which is fantastic. So, and you see the volume today, it's at about 4 million right now. In a previous cycle was about 25, and then 21, 32. So we see the volume increase as well and kind of decrease. But most importantly, we saw the big volume here, right? And you're seeing the big buy volume right here. So we're kind of resetting, but on way lower volume here. You can tell here by if you follow my mouse cursor. So that's kind of why I'm saying this is kind of a bullish flag here. And I wouldn't be that concerned with it personally speaking if you're a long-term day trader. I'm a long-term investor here. But the reason why I say it's normally bullish, but in this case, it could be possibly bearish, but still bullish at the same time. Sounds a little strange, but let me explain to you why though. So you're seeing we're having a convergence and now a bearish divergence on the MACD here on a 4-hour chart, okay? On a 4-hour chart, it is a lot more short-term compared to the daily chart here. So you just gotta bear that in mind, okay? So, and most important is that we currently have, I would say, the beginnings of a reset cycle of the MACD, but in the bullish territory. So that means that when it does something like this here in the future dates, kind of comes back down, maybe around here, it kind of bounces up, or does something like this, kind of bounces all the way down and bounces up like this. Depending on whatever scenario it may be, it doesn't matter too much for the bullish investor, because when it falls either which of these scenarios here, this just tells me that we're going to see a higher low up here. So that higher low appears, I'm gonna assume that if it confirms with 5 to 6 candlesticks, that's gonna be our new temporary bottom and possible support here. So let me show you what that equates to if this kind of trend follows here. So if this follows like this, then I'm gonna assume that this may happen then. So that means we're gonna break down. Okay, we're gonna break down. And most importantly here, what I see happening is that, like I said, normally a descending triangle is bullish, but in this case, I must say it's bearish temporarily, but overall long-term, very bullish though. So what that means is that we're gonna break down, and then we're gonna do something like this. We're gonna go like this, tap the 6-3 support, which is what I call a long-term support. And for the longest time, 6-3 has been a resistance for the most part. So now, if we kind of see this kind of reset on a 4-hour chart, I can see it's going all the way trending back downwards towards 6-3. Now, when does it happen? How does it happen? I can see it happening, let's see, based on this kind of a drawing estimate here, I can see it happening within, let's see, within the next 4 days. So maybe by around Thursday or Friday, even possibly Saturday, we may see this kind of a bottom here happen. And then from there on, we will either trend back up or trend back down, depending on how the volume is looking though. And of course, this can get all faked out, right? Because tomorrow on April 3rd, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, April 14th, 2021, I believe Coinbase is going to IPO. And of course, as you all know, currently Dogecoin is not on Coinbase. However, people may buy Dogecoin with whatever broker they're currently using in anticipation of when Coinbase is going to list Dogecoin on their actual platform. And everyone is kind of right now speculating, because we don't know if they will or they won't, even if the Rosetta API is implemented by the Dogecoin developers. But seeing as how that there's so much media coverage on Dogecoin, I would strongly say it behooves Coinbase to list Dogecoin and gain all that momentum and push out Dogecoin for a little bit, and they get all this publicity, and most likely they will get many more users to apply to the Coinbase brokerage here, and thus they will make more money, and thus the Dogecoin will go up as well, even if temporary. So we don't know how that's going to play out yet, but I suspect we will see something shortly coming soon. All right. So with the actual date, no one knows because when it happens, it happens. You know, obviously Coinbase doesn't disclose anything to you and I or anyone else until it actually happens. So I will move on to the 15-minute chart and see how that looks. Alrighty then, let's see. Okay. So on the 15-minute chart, in my opinion, it's actually looking quite bullish, and I'll explain to you why right now. So you can see that this is kind of looking something somewhat like our downwards descending triangle for the most part. And you can see it kind of trending down, you know, more on a more microscopic view here, which is, you know, okay, we see that happening. So every time it hits this sort of downtrend line that I drew on a daily and 4-hour chart, so it isn't trying to scale here, it hits it and it hits back down, you know, almost immediately. So with that being said, we're also seeing. I'm gonna explain to you why I think that it's going to be. Ooh, you know what? I take that back. This is actually very bearish. Actually, I'm actually gonna explain why now. Because after zooming in closer here, if you can see the current 50 MA and the current 200 MA on the 15-minute chart, on the 15-minute chart here, you're seeing kind of getting closer and closer to converge here, right? And the current price of the 50 MA on a 15-minute chart is 708, and a 200 MA is around 703. So based on those two numbers I just read to you, they're getting closer and closer here. So when they actually cross, it will become, you know, a bearish death cross for the most part. So I suspect this cross will happen in the next, let me see here. I'll probably say next hour or two, it will probably cross. And when that crosses, we're gonna see a continuation of a temporary short-term bearish trade here. All right. So that happens. We may just keep on continuing trend down towards the 6-3 here, and that just to me makes sense based on what I'm looking at right here, and at least based on the current 50 and 200 here, because on a 50 and 200, even on a 15-minute chart, it takes time to you know, develop. Because as you know, you need about 50 sticks or 200 sticks to kind of compress together and get an average of it. So, you know, even though it's on a 15-minute time frame and it appear a lot faster, it will still take time to develop. So that being said, if I built a MACD right here, you can see that here, right, from here to here, what I'm hiding to you right here, you can see that it kind of went up and down. But guess what? It was resetting on the bearish territory, and that's kind of why you were seeing lower lows and higher lows every single time. And right now, what we're seeing also on the current MACD on a 15-minute chart here, you're seeing it converge and then diverge in the bearish territory again. So you saw it kind of do this, right? It kind of went like this, right? And now we're kind of up here. Now we're coming back down, and right here, what I'm gonna highlight right here for you guys, right here. As of this moment, you're seeing a divergence in a bearish territory, and we're trending towards downwards. So that means is on a short term, we're going to come back down as well, right? How far we go, we either reset like this, or we go like this and reset like that. That is to be determined, and depending on momentum. So if either of these scenarios happens, we may see something like this happen. Let me go. Oops, get rid of that. Let me go up here and kind of show you what I mean here. So we see these kind of patterns formed, and we will see something like this happen as well. We will see kind of like this, kind of bounce down, probably come back up, and then come back down again, and come back up. Kind of do that for the most part. Trend towards the 6-3 zone. And when that happens, the 6-3 zone, like I said, will be a strong psychological and a strong long-term support. But of course, we're currently at the 7-cent very strong psychological support as well, and currently we aren't breaking down out of it currently. Every time it taps it, we come on bouncing up, but each bounce up is lower and lower and lower. So with each bounce going lower and lower and lower, and we keep on tapping on that strong psychological 7-cent resistance, eventually it's going to break down. Because people are saying, hey, you know what? I keep on buying 7 cents, it bounces up lower and lower. You know what? I'm going to stop buying it. I don't believe it anymore. And they kind of and they pretty much just let it fall through here. So that's kind of what I see with the 15-minute chart currently here. And I will end this technical analysis today like this. So today I will end the technical analysis video here. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. It's Hey John. I jabber about opportunities nonstop, and I will catch you all on the next one.